Good morning or afternoon. Today we are going to be working with subtracting mixed numbers. We've already worked with adding mixed numbers, and we're going to use a lot of those same skills and strategies to help us to subtract. And you can see here that we are definitely focusing on mixed numbers where we have unlike denominators. And so we know that one of the things we need to do is find common denominators. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our first example. And in this one, we have 5 and 3/4 minus 3 and a half. Now I notice that my fractions are not the same. We do not have common denominators, which means our pieces are different sizes. And we know we can't really subtract or add and calculate when we have pieces that are different sizes. So we need to find an equivalent fraction for one of them or both of them, depending on the denominators, where we have a common denominator. So I have fourths and I have halves. Well, I know that fourths are smaller pieces and halves are bigger pieces. Um, and so that helps me to kind of know that I'm going to find an equivalent fraction for my half. So I'm going to start with just looking at 1/2, and I want to make it into fourths. Well, I have to think about, all right, if I take each piece and I cut it into two smaller pieces, well, then I've made four pieces, four smaller pieces. So 2 times 2 is 4. And if I did that, I also have to multiply my numerator by 2 as well. So we know that 1/2 equals 2/4. So we're going to kind of, when we write this, instead of using 3 and a half, we're going to kind of replace that with 3 and 2/4. But when I am doing subtraction specifically, I really like to rewrite them vertically so I can line up my place values. That becomes really important when we want to ungroup. So I'm going to rewrite this equation vertically. So 5 and 3/4 minus 3. And again, instead of writing 3 and a half, I'm going to write 3 and 2/4 so that we have common denominators. And you can see here, I've lined up by place value. So I've lined up my fractional values and I've lined up my whole numbers. So now, is 3/4 greater than 2/4? Yes, it is. So I can subtract without any ungrouping. So 3/4 minus 2/4. Well, and I can even draw kind of a model to show if I have 3/4 and I want to subtract 2/4, I can take 1, 2, and what I have left is 1/4. So 3/4 minus 2/4 is 1/4, and 5 take away 3 is 2. So 5 and 3/4 minus 3 and a half is 2 and a fourth. So that example does not involve any ungrouping. Now we're going to take a look at an example that does involve that. Many of the steps are the same, but there's one additional thing that we need to make sure we do. So again, I have 8 1/3 and I have 3 5/6. Now, my thirds and my sixths are not the same size. My thirds are bigger pieces, and I can partition those apart into sixths. So let's see, if I have a third, finding my equivalent fractions first, and I want to make that into sixths. Each third, if I break that apart and I get 2 times as many thirds, now I have sixths. So I'm going to also do that to my numerator. So 1 times 2 is 2. So I have 1/3 equals 2/6. So again, we're going to be using an equivalent value. So 8 and 2/6 minus 3 and 5/6. And so now I'm going to rewrite this vertically. Again, it makes it very easy to work with and calculate. So I'm going to take 8, and instead of writing a third, I'm going to use my equivalent fraction, 2/6. and I'm going to subtract 3 and 5/6. All right. Well, I notice that here I have 2/6 and I want to take away 5/6. Now, this does not equal 3/6. Okay? Just be aware that this does not equal 3/6. We can't just take 5 minus 2. This is smaller. So like if I were to model this, it has, I only have 2/6. Can I take 5/6 away? No, I can't. So what do we always do when we can't subtract? We ungroup, right? So we're going to do the same thing here. This is our fractional value. We have to go to our whole number and we have to ungroup. So if I take one of those away, now I have 7. And I'm going to make that into sixths. So now, how many sixths do I have? Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 sixths. And of course, I drew that in a place that I shouldn't have, because what I want to do is rewrite this over here. So I'm going to go down here instead. Good job, Miss Irwin. So I have 7 and what did I say? 6, 7, 8. 8 sixths, and I want to subtract 3 and 5/6. So now I can do that because my top number is bigger. So 8 sixths take away 5/6 is, well, it is 3/6. And 7 take away 3 is 4. And we know that that is equivalent to 4, because 3/6 is equivalent to a half. So we could also say that that is 4 and 1/2. So that is subtracting with ungrouping. I'm going to do one more example with you. You can pause it to do the example on your own if you'd like to give it a try and then continue, or you can just do it with me, but let's take a look. All right, so in this example, we're going to do 4.5 minus 1 and 5/8. And so again, you can pause and do it on your own and then continue, or you can kind of work through it with me. So we do not have a common denominator, so the halves are the bigger pieces. I can break those apart into eighths. So if I have a half, and I'm trying to figure out how many eighths that is equivalent to. Well, 2 times 4. So I break each piece into 4 smaller pieces. That equals 8. So we need to do that to the numerator as well. So 1 times 4 is 4. So we really have now 4 and 4/8 minus 1 and 5/8. But again, we do want to rewrite that vertically. So we have 4 and 4/8 minus 1 and 5/8. Now, can we solve right away? Nope. And the reason is our fraction on top is less than our fraction down here. So if we have 4/8, and I'm going to draw it in the right spot this time. If I have 4/8, can I take 5/8 away? Nope. So what we need to do is ungroup. We're going to take one of a whole. We're going to take one whole, and we're going to make it, so now I have 3 wholes left, and we're going to make it into eighths. And we have the entire whole to work with. So really, I'm adding 8/8 to my 4/8. Okay, because I have 8/8 and 4/8. So I do want to rewrite this as the new value. So I have 3 wholes, and I have 8/8, 9, 10, 11, 12/8. So I have 3 and 12/8, And now I want to subtract 1 and 5/8. And because our fraction on the top is greater than our fraction on the bottom, now we can subtract and take away. So I want to take away 5/8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, what do I have left? I have 7/8 left. So here I have 7/8, and 3 take away 1 is 2. So that is how you can subtract mixed numbers with unlike denominators. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I will see you in math, and we'll do some more practice. Have a great day.